Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to set the valve lash and the timing on your Honda CT90. This is a 1972 model, and here's the tools we're going to need. First off, to do the timing, you're going to need a large Phillips, a small Phillips, a 14mm wrench, a 23mm wrench. This is for taking the valve cover off. You're going to need a very basic timing light. I'll show you how to make one of those in a minute. A Torx E5, this is for doing the valves, just to hold the valve while you tighten the lock nut, which is what this wrench is for. It's an 11/32. You're also going to need feeler gauges that go down to at least 2/1000. So yeah, stay tuned and we'll show you how to do this. Okay, we're going to start with the timing. So first, we're going to take the valve cover off. Shit. Now you want to make sure you clean off around so you don't get any dirt in there, because that's no fun. Then we're going to take the magneto cover off. And one thing about this is that there is actually oil behind this cover, and one good thing to do is to prop it up on a rock so that all the oil is tilted that way a little bit. Okay, once you've got the cover off, and you've got the valve cover off, I'm going to take this one. Okay. So, now you grab your 14mm wrench, and you can see here that we've got an arrow indicator and a couple marks here. We've got a T for top dead center, F for fire, and the ct90 with the direction. Okay, so you get your 14mm wrench on there and you spin it around and you keep spinning it in the direction of travel until you come to a point where the T mark crosses this little indicator post right here while both valves are closed. So you hold your hand on the valves and you spin it until they stop moving, and then right when it crosses the T, that's top dead center. So you want to get it just before top dead center for when we set the timing. So now, what you're going to need is this. And this is a little timing light I built. It's got 2 AA batteries in here. It's got a little light bulb and 2 alligator clips. Basically, you turn this on, and when the 2 alligator clips touch, the light comes on. See that? So you can pretty much make this out of anything. You could take some wire and use the headlight bulb in here and the battery that's on the bike to do this. It's very simple, it's very crude, but it works very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this somewhere where it won't fall out. And then we put one lead, or shit, that's too far away. There we go. Okay, so you put one lead on the ignition wire. You can actually clamp it right here. I'm just going to clamp it there. Okay. So this is the ignition lead. And then you want the other side on here, so that when the points are closed, the lights should be on right before top dead center, and once you reach just before top dead center, this mark F here, the light should go out. And you can test this by, when you're right before top dead center and the light's on, just take your finger and push those points open, and the light should go off. So then that's how you know that your timing light is doing what it should. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take that wrench on your crankshaft, and you're going to turn it really slowly until you just get to that line, and you're going to watch the light, and just as you pass that line, the light should go off. And this one's not, actually. So what I think happened is the previous owner actually timed this bike so that the light goes off, the point's open, and the spark plug fires at top dead center, not just before, which is how it should be. So once you know that, you're going to have to undo these 3 screws right here, and you're going to have to rotate this just a little bit so that right as that line crosses the F mark, the light goes out. That's what you're looking for. Okay, so once you know how much your timing is off, or if it's correct, you can just be done. But if you found out that it's off and you need to adjust it, you need to find a screwdriver that fits these. And mine doesn't. That one's better. Okay. Alright, so when you're making your adjustments, an easy way to do it is to keep these just a little bit snug, and then, take your screwdriver or whatever, pop it on this edge and tap it one way or the other, and that way you can move it really in really small little increments. This is what your timing should look like. We've got the indicator here and the F mark here. You want your light right here to go off as soon as it passes the F mark. So I'm just gonna spin it by hand here. Boom. That's what you want. So once you're done doing your timing, all you gotta do is take your little light off, get your cover, make sure there's no dust in it, dirt, whatever. Pop this back together. Now, if you're doing the valves too, you're going to want to keep this cover off because you want to make sure you're at top dead center when you adjust the valves, which is right there. So both valves are fully closed. So now we're going to do the valves. You're going to need your valve holding tool. Now this just pops on the top of the valve like that so you can get a grip on it. And this wrench is to do the lock nut. So basically that's your setup right there. Now the top of the valve is actually a square head, so if you need to, you can actually use a pair of pliers. But I wanted to be a little bit better than that, so I didn't have anything but this little Torx thing that fits on there nice and snug. So that's what I'm using. You're gonna need a set of feeler gauges that go down to 0.002, like I said. So there's our 0.002 feeler gauge. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this nut, gonna loosen the lock nut on the valve. We're gonna get our valve grabby tool. We're gonna twist that out a turn or two. And then we need to get this feeler gauge in between the valve. And then you're slowly cranking that down. You just want a little bit of resistance. So I'm gonna go with right there. And there you go. So when the engine's cold, you want just a little bit of play up and down, just the tiniest bit. That's what you want. So I'm going to do the exhaust valve. You do it the same way, 2000s clearance, that's all you need to know. Okay, so once you're done doing the valves and adjusting the timing, you can just throw everything back together. These just, screw right back on top of here. Doesn't matter which one goes where. Oops. Just hand tight. You don't want them crazy tight. It's just a cover that screws down on top of a gasket, so they're not going to work their way out or anything like that. Just, give it a good hand tighten. So yeah, that's it. That's adjusting the valves and the timing on your Honda CT90. Thanks for watching. Oh, and in case you wanted to see me start the bike after I did that, this is for you.